everybody, and welcome back again to Let's Play Assassin's Creed Origins. I'm still here where I left off last time, although this is not where the game put me when I started it today. Instead, it put me somewhere outside, so I came back here because I still want to fully explore this place. But yeah, in the previous episode we finally got our hidden blade, and there was like a nice callback to the assassin or proto-assassin or pre-assassin that killed the Persian king Xerxes with that blade. And we've seen him before, or at least his statue, all the way back in, I think, the first Assassin's Creed game with Ezio, so that would have been Assassin's Creed 2, in the crypt in Monteriggioni where all the statues were. And one of them was for the Persian assassin, whose name I don't remember. But speaking of which, in that same crypt there obviously was another statue for a female assassin who, according to that description, killed Cleopatra, who also was mentioned in the previous episode. So I'm going to be very interested to see if that is going to play a role in this game, or if they are just going to retcon that in some form. Amunet, by the way, is the female form of Amun, and both of it basically means the hidden one, which incidentally is the name of one of the DLCs, so there's that. But one thing I gotta get off my chest while I'm talking about this topic. I will be forever salty about the fact that the protagonist of this game is not that assassin that we've seen in that crypt in Assassin's Creed 2. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Bayek, he seems to be a cool guy, but I think this shouldn't be his story. This should be the story of that assassin that was introduced all the way back in Assassin's Creed 2, and is basically canon, sort of part of the lore. So if there's one game in all of the, by now 10 main games of the Assassin's Creed franchise, that should have had a sole female protagonist, it is this one. Because it was right there in the lore all the way back since Assassin's Creed 2. And they still didn't go for it. That is just lame. That is really, really lame. Ubisoft, you are bad and you should feel bad. But okay, now that I got this little rant off of my chest, let's look around a little bit. Looks like we can talk to Aya. And I mean, apparently Aya has been killing some of our targets already, so conceivably she could be the one killing Cleopatra, and she could be the one that is portrayed in that statue. But she's not the protagonist, the playable protagonist of this game, so it still would be a cop-out, right? Anyway, what do we got over here? Now this is interesting over here. This is the famous Judgment of the Dead scene. We see Anubis jackal-headed and a scale, and on one side of the scale is the heart of the deceased, and on the other side is the feather of the goddess Ma'at, which basically represents order and truth. And if the deceased was a good person, then the scales will be in balance, and if he was a bad person, the heart is heavy and it will be unbalanced, and then a monster that is not depicted in this papyrus will eat the person, and they will basically die a second time, and this time permanently. And this is actually pretty interesting because at that time, I mean not specifically at this time anymore, but like 1,000 or 2,000 years ago, when the Egyptians pretty much already believed the same thing, that actually was a pretty unique thing, because most of the, religions surrounding Egypt, the Romans, the Greek, the Levantine religions, they didn't really have that kind of thing. Not just the judgment of the dead, but also the idea to have like an afterlife that is essentially a continuation of the normal earthly life, just eternal and presumably better. As a matter of fact, most ancient pagan religions only had a very nondescript and vague idea of the afterlife. It usually was some kind of underworld that was not pleasant, but it wasn't really that bad either. It was kind of neutral. So this kind of eternal afterlife in a sort of paradise was actually pretty unique to the Egyptians at that time, at least in this vicinity. The Greeks later embellished their afterlife a little bit, and Hades had like different sections, like Tartarus, which was an actual place of punishment, and the Elysian Fields, which was more like a paradise for the good people, and Tartarus for the bad people, and then there was like a place in between for people who were in between. But before that, pretty much everyone just went to the underworld, and maybe a few very select, exceptional individuals were chosen by the gods and were allowed to live with the gods. But for everyone else, it was just, the underworld in some form. And even the famous Viking Valhalla probably only was a very late addition to the faith of the Germanic people, and probably only limited to the Icelandic and Scandinavian region, because we have no evidence that the earlier continental Germanic tribes like the Saxons or the Goths believed in that kind of, warrior heaven. Probably they only believed in, an underworld, which they called hell, but which was not comparable to the Christian concept of hell, even if they kind of took the name to describe it, but it was mostly neutral. So the Egyptian afterlife and their focus on the afterlife was actually pretty unique in the ancient world. But yeah, what else do we got around here? Some letter, maybe? Aya's notes. Phanos is right, I should meet with Apollodorus. According to him, Actaeon is involved. I need to slip into his quarters. The mask, he's one of them. His blood for my Chemu. I need to hide now. Apollodorus could help. He gave me access to the den. I can trust him. Alright, I'm going to assume that this is the den. It looks pretty impressive. And it looks like I can actually talk to...
What's this?
That leads to the docks. I can't believe Phanos had you go through the pit.
Do you mean... Oh, there's like a door over here. So this place actually has a proper door, but Phanos made me jump down the well. Okay. But yeah, let's talk to her.
Who is this snake?
I have yet to discover that.
The clue must be there in the palace. Search for the seal found upon the letter. It's too dangerous to leave this den as long as Gennadios and his men are searching for me.
Okay, I understand.
The seal will certainly be found within the palace. I cannot leave this den as long as Gennadios lives.
Okay, so I gotta finish that quest before I can, talk to her again, presumably. Okay, but I see some stuff over here. Oh yeah, it's a chest. I'll take it. Some shield. Probably not even a very good one. Yeah, is there anything else around here? I mean, we have some interesting statues. Apparently another segment. And some Greek/Roman statues that I don't recognize. Some soldiers or generals or whatever. But yeah, let's have a look at our new missions. Gennadios the Phylakitae and the snake. Okay, and this is basically the main quest, and these are kind of like the two parts of it. However, I guess I will put this on hold for a time being because I want to explore the city a little bit and, maybe do a few side quests while I look around. And yeah, this is our next target. The snake is one of the masked ones whose name was mentioned at the tragedy in Siwa. And right, these are the two people that Aya already killed. The vulture, Actaeon, Aya's first kill. While tracing the order in Alexandria, Aya came across Actaeon and verified her suspicions when she discovered one of the masks in his apartment. He died a horrible death while wearing the mask. His role in the Order of Ancients is clear. His role in the death of Khemu, however, is nebulous. I guess the Order of Ancients is kind of a proto-Templar order. The Rem, Tessos. He hunted down Aya, the killer of his friend Actaeon in Alexandria. However, he met his end at her hands. So basically, Aya already took care of 2 of our 5 targets, and only 1 is left. But I mean, there's still a lot of empty space here, so there could be more targets in the future. It would be a very short game if this was our final target already, right? Yeah, I guess I will leave this place for now, and we will try to find some quests to do. Where was that door that I can use instead of climbing up the well? I think it's this one. Yep, let's go.
Ου κόπαπας παρά του ιδίου. Ίσο φθαλμόνιδιο κατασχέθηση.
Alright, that was just some random cutscene, presumably to give the game some time to load in the rest of the city. Alright, let's see, where exactly are we and what do we want to do? Oh, I have to disable the photos again because apparently I am not in offline mode currently. Yeah, actually I think I want to go back to the library again and look around a bit because I haven't really been exploring this place on my first visit, so I should be doing this now. Especially since I'm pretty sure that this place will go up in flames pretty soon. At least partially. I mean, we are in 48 BC, right? And I think that's the year when parts of the library burned down. So let's visit it while we still can. Alright, let's see. What can we find around here? Okay, looks like there's actually some stuff to look at over here. What is all of this? Can I study some interesting topics? History of geometry. One must be versed in Poseidonius geography as well as Oidemos arithmetics and geography. Elements by Euclides is as important as Pythagoras' essence and source of all things. Finally, Archimedes on the equilibrium of planes would be the best addition of knowledge to Platon's teaching. That looks like a pretty good classical curriculum. So, what do we got over here? Looks geometrical to me. Euclides elements. Things which are equal to the same thing are also equal to one another. If equals are added to equals, the wholes are equal. If equals be subtracted from equals, the remainders are equal. Things which coincide with one another are equal to one another. The whole is greater than the part. Sounds pretty logical to me. And what do we got over here? Oh, is this like the famous experiment to measure the circumference of the Earth? I forgot the name of the guy who did it. Eratosthenes. He was a guy. On summer solstice, simultaneously the sun strikes Siena and Alexandria, but their shadows have different angles. When comparing the angles and relating them to the distance between the two towns, planet Earth measures 250,000 stadia. Yeah, this is the famous example with which he calculated the circumference of the Earth. And the problem is that we don't exactly know how long a stadium was, because there were like different stadiums depending on the time and the place. But if we take the Egyptian stadium for his calculation, then he actually was pretty close. I think he was only off by like 2%. So that's pretty amazing. And it is like a very common misconception that in pre-modern times people thought the Earth was flat. But that isn't really the case. I mean, there's that common myth that Columbus proved that the Earth was round. But it was pretty much already accepted scholarly opinion since the ancient Greek, because they could already calculate the circumference of the Earth. And it's actually even the Assassin's Creed franchise itself that kind of fell into that trap, because I remember in Assassin's Creed 2, where you had to collect these codex pages, that there was like some writings of Altair, and I think he saw some depiction of Earth made by the precursors, and he expressed his surprise at the fact that the Earth was round. But like I said, at that point, at least, most scholars already believed in a round Earth. Now, to be fair, we don't know what kind of education Altair received as an assassin at that time. But apparently he could read and write, so he must have received some education. And both in the Western and the Islamic world at that point, the Earth was round, and that was pretty much the accepted opinion. So, let's see what else is going on here. Zodiac cricket toy, known as the armillary sphere to Romans. This observational device determines the locations of celestial bodies around the Earth, the spheric center of the universe. The position is fixed by corresponding the latitude and meridian rings to the position of the sun or a star. Yeah, I think some people may also confuse the whole flat versus round Earth debate with the geocentric versus heliocentric world model, because in that regard, the ancient Greek were actually wrong, because they believed in a geocentric universe where the Earth was at the center and the sun and all the other planets revolve around the Earth. And that was pretty much the common, opinion during the Middle Ages as well. And it wasn't until like Copernicus and later Galileo that they changed that opinion, and against a lot of, resistance by the church and so on. But the Earth being flat wasn't really an issue at that point anymore. So that is a misconception. Pythagoras' proof. Oh, well, this is giving me flashbacks to school. In right-angled triangles, the figure on the side opposite to the right angle equals the sum of the similar and similarly described figures on the sides containing the right angle. Yeah. That is just great. Oh, I didn't want to call Senyu. I wanted to look around a bit more. Can we educate ourselves a bit more? I mean, Bayek doesn't really look like he fits in this place all that well with his weapons and stuff. And running around, pushing people out of the way. Well, I believe I have read this already. Yep. This is about the muses. So, let's make sure we check all the dark corners of this place. And I guess I will go upstairs as well. It's interesting that the only person who apparently speaks Egyptian in this place is the woman cleaning the floor. Which I guess makes sense. Also, it looks like she's actually the only woman in this place too, which is also sadly realistic, I guess. Because obviously women wouldn't receive the same kind of education at this time. I mean, there were a few female scholars as well. Like one of my great historical, inspirational persons, favorite historical persons, Hypatia of Alexandria. But they were certainly the exception rather than the rule. Okay, I don't see anything else that I can read. Nothing to loot. And another woman cleaning the floor. It's actually kind of ironic because, I mean, this place is literally called the Museion. It's dedicated to the muses. So the patron deities of arts and science are all female. But the only females in this place are the cleaning ladies. And, well, all the statues, which presumably are, you know, representations of the muses, like this one over here. But okay, this was still interesting to look at. I think this is just to the, I don't know, garden outside. I don't see anything of value around here. Okay, so let's see. We have some quests in the vicinity, but they are a little bit out of my league. The Shifty Scribe. I mean, this seems to be something that I can do, and I kind of want to go up here as well. Serapis Unites. There's like a huge place. It could be the Serapeum, which is the temple for Serapis. You know, just judging from the name of the temple. But I guess we will check out this quest over here first and see what the Shifty Scribe is all about. Yeah, I guess I will just go through the library again. Now, let's see. Yes, we're going up this really large stairs over here.
Aristo's work is fine. A peripatetic philosopher. It's a shame what has happened to him.
Intellectual theft is a serious crime. Strabo agrees, yet our king's regime is too busy with ceremony.
Imagine, free elections in Egypt? Alexandria could be a thriving city-state. Not if the Aristos of the world are locked away, shunned, oppressed. The polis suffers when free will is crushed.
As long as we have access to the gymnasium, we shall fill papyri with our ideas.
I love you, Homeros. Let us drink wine and celebrate the Alexandrian Pleiad and salute our dear friend Aristo.
Move out of my way!
Just some random political debate on the streets. What a city! I like this place. Who's talking now?
May they all rot!
Oh, is it you? You're my quest. Come on, let's talk.
Who are you? One of Eudoros Philakis?
I am no friend of Eudoros.
He's brought nothing but sorrow to my husband Aristo. The great poet philosopher, jailed. Jailed for writing beautiful things.
Okay.
Words are a powerful weapon.
My love spent years writing his masterwork. Years! Then Eudoros plagiarized it and passed my husband's genius off as his own.
And Aristo took him to court.
Months of arguments. In the end, my husband is beaten, ridiculed, and tossed in a cage.
Is this what passes for justice in Alexandria?
Oh, my dear man. If you right this wrong, my husband and I can flee this city and be done with this ordeal.
Okay. I can probably do that.
I know of a boat that will take him on the southern docks. I will wait for you. Please. Just bring me back my Aristo.
I mean, this seems to be a worthy cause. Where exactly would I have to go for this? Right, I probably have to activate the quest first. Okay, it's over here. A Greek philosopher is unfairly jailed after Eudoros plagiarizes his book. Bayek agrees to save him from the guards and get him out of Alexandria. Alright, I guess I can do that, but I also kind of want to check out this place. So maybe I will pick up this quest first and then we will continue with this one. Since we're kind of in the area already.
Oh.
Yeah, I think I'm not going in the right direction because kind of sidetracked by the other quest. I probably have to go up here. Yep. This is a huge building we've seen from afar, I believe. It is the Serapeon. Alright. Awesome. So, someone around here is in need of my help. Also, there's a papyrus around here that I need to look for. But first, let's
Egyptians are coming to temple. Where are my Senians?
look at this quest. Alright. There's nothing to interact with, just an empty space, but I guess I'll do it.
Great Serapis, are you as merciful as Amun?
Welcome, brother.
Thank you, priest.
It is good to see Egyptians come back. Since my drummer was jailed, it has been quiet.
The silence is striking.
A tanner jailed my drummer, accused him of stealing a precious Nubian lion skin from the Daivads. Poor soul even worked for him. Tragic. He is an honest man.
Leave this in my hands, priest.
Okay, apparently we have to free another person who has
Medjay,
been
my drummer is in the
unlawfully
Kibotos
jailed.
arsenal nearest the library. Serapis walk with you.
And you, priest.
Okay, yeah, that's another person we can rescue. But before we leave this place, there must be a papyrus somewhere around here, right? Probably somewhere in this vicinity. Yep, I found it. Okay, so guess I will pick this up while I'm here and maybe look around a little bit. Alright, I think I found it. The Stone Gaze. In the south section of Mariotis Lake there's an island full of ruins. A man stares at me all day. It's quite a bother, so I'm hiding behind a column that blocks his sight. Okay, so again, this is in a different place and not in the vicinity, which means I will be doing this later. Oh, someone's playing a game of Senate, probably, over here. Interesting little board game. So, yeah, what else do we have around here? Huh. Who are you? Well, I am not specifically familiar with this likeness, but I'm going to assume that it's probably some Hellenized version of Isis. At least that makes sense to me, since this is the Serapeon, and like I said, Serapis is basically a version of Osiris, and Isis is his wife. So it would make sense that she has a statue in here as well. Yep, here's Serapis again. Which means the one that's still missing for the full trite is Hypocratis. Let's see if we can find a shrine for him as well. Hypocratis is basically a Greek version of Horus. There's a funny story about Hypocratis, at least it's funny to me, because the Greek described him as the god of silence and secrets, which is not, an attribute of the original Horus. And the way that came to pass is because of a misunderstanding of the Egyptian symbolisms. I mean, Horus is usually portrayed as a man with the head of a falcon. But as I mentioned before, the, part animal gods were a little bit strange to the Greeks. So luckily, there is also a form of Horus that is fully human, and that's Horus the Child. When he's like a little infant, usually portrayed as sitting on the lap of his mother Isis. And this form of Horus is in Egyptian called Hypocratis, which is Horus the Child, and that became the Greek Hypocratis. So it was basically a god in the form of a little boy. And the way that in Egyptian art children were portrayed is usually with the index finger touching the chin or the lower lip. That was just the way they did it. I'm not exactly sure why that specific gesture in particular, but the hieroglyph for child, for example, is the same. It's a child with a finger on its chin. And like I said, statues were, in a sense, 3D hieroglyphs, so usually when they had a statue of a child, it also had the same gesture. And apparently the Greeks misread this gesture as the gesture for silence, with the index finger on the lips, the same that we would, signify silence today. So they thought, oh, this must be the god of silence and secrets, when it's actually just, the conventional way in which the Egyptians portrayed children in, sculptures. So, yeah, an interesting example of cross-cultural misunderstandings, I suppose. Anyway, we have 2 quests now, so I guess we should be doing one of them. The question is, which one would be closer? Well, I guess this might be a little bit closer, so I hope there's enough time in this episode to finish at least this quest, because I've been running around a lot, talking a lot, but I haven't really done a lot. Didn't get much stuff done, so maybe we can at least free one of these wrongly accused people. Presumably wrongly accused people. So, is this a way for me to get down here? Alright, it is. And it is actually pretty close to the library, and we have kind of been in the vicinity of that place already. Alright, let's see. Okay, I located my target. But, oh, he's over here. I see. Yeah, this seems to be some kind of military post. And he's in this cage. Now, obviously, this would be one of these missions that probably would be significantly easier if I'm going to do it during the night. But then again, it feels kind of cheap to do all the missions during the night. So maybe I'm going to try to do this one during the day. Yeah, there's like another one of these crossbows. But okay, we still have to get a little bit closer. It's like on the other side of this building. Oh, hang on a second. Is this something I can read? Nope. I mean, it looked like the ones that we've seen in the library, but this one is not readable. That's a pity. Keyboard's Arsenal. Alright, I'm going to assume this is the place where we have to go. And yeah, I think this is one of these fires that can be used to call reinforcements. Oh, and there's a level 11 guy over here. So I think what I should be doing is first try to disable the alarm and then get to that crossbow. Alright. Not seeing anyone.
The guards here are vigilant.
Top of this. Kill captain, kill commander, loot treasure. Alright. Well. I'm pretty sure I haven't tagged all the soldiers yet, because there's one walking who is not tagged yet. So I guess we will start by getting over to the alarm, huh? Alright. Let's set a trap. And let's try to hide in here. I hope no one saw my slightly clumsy jump. Oh, there's a soldier over here. Well, I might be able to take him down while he's distracted. Oh yeah, I actually used my hidden blade now. I didn't just knock him out, I actually killed him. Alright. The alarm should be disabled. And I guess I will just use a crossbow. I mean, why not? Obviously, it's not exactly stealthy. And everyone will know that I'm here once I start using it. But I mean, kind of works. At least as long as I can actually aim at people. I mean, I can take out this guy with one shot from here, so let's do that. There's another guy over here.
Wait a minute. Hey, stop!
But he saw me. I'm surprised that he hasn't died yet. Alright, I think it's time to fight these guys. Got a level 8 guy over here. What are you doing? Are you running away from me? Really? How lame. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Careful. Alright, apparently that was the commander. And I didn't exactly perform all that well against him. But he's dead.
Alarm! Alarm!
And I think I'm going to use my bow to take down the rest. Or can I use... Oh, I can use a crossbow.
Going to gut you now. Why I'm the butcher.
Alright. Oh, he's going to climb up here, right? Well, I'm waiting for you. That was a weird kill. Alright. Let's go for the next guy.
Alarm! Help me, brothers!
Alright. He's dead.
Hey, what?
He's dead. He is dead. Now the question is, how many more enemies do we have? I would like to...
You! Yeah, big guy. You have got the look of a man who can heft things. Namely, me. And my injured foot.
Yes, I have to take care of all the remaining enemies in this place first before I can go and help you.
Bring him down!
Alright.
Alarm!
Now let's take down the rest of them with my sword.
Stop and die! Got you!
And this one too.
Hey, hold on!
Oh, we have another one up here.
You will not escape!
Well, let's see who's a better shot.
Right.
Well, I think I won the shooting contest, but I still got a little bit burned. Right. Is that all of them? I mean, this was a lot messier than I planned.
I come on the priest's request, drummer.
Then get me out of here, Magi!
Right, but I still have to find the treasures, so... let me do this first. Oh, there's a lot of loot in here, so maybe I'm going to help him first and then I will return to pick up the treasures. Priorities.
I cannot help but think. You seem cheerful for a man unable to walk.
You jest, Charlie. This is the best day of my life. My foot will cost that tanner.
Surely your health is worth more than that.
If I can prove nothing, you would be correct. That is where you come in, friend.
What do you mean? I'm just here to free you. Oh, there's still enemy left, if I see this correctly. Yep. Alright, sorry. I will have to take down this guy first before I can bring you out of here. Alright. Oh, you're the guy I'm supposed to rescue. Exit the restricted area. Alright, let's do it. Speak to the drummer. Alright. So, how are you?
What is it you think I can do?
Find the fools who stole it, of course. Return that skin and clear my name.
Who stole the lion skin?
I turned away from the lion skin for a moment, and a bandit nabbed it and ran away. I lost him in the crowd. It happened in the Egyptian district. The guards, of course, blame me. Tough life being an Egyptian in Alexandria.
I will find them then.
Go on, get that skin. I will be fine. Just need to rest my leg. Then I will go and meet the priest. You clear my name.
Okay, so apparently this quest is not yet over. But I mean, before I leave this place, I definitely want to pick up all the loot and pick up the treasures. So I guess I will do this. And then we will continue with this quest in the next episode. Because I don't think I will be able to finish it in this episode. Yep, there's a lot of loot in here. And somewhere around here there must be the treasures. But yeah, I think I will just make sure that I've picked up everything of value in this place. And in the next episode we will continue with this quest and maybe free the other imprisoned person as well. While we're at it. Oh, I think I see the treasure over there. But yeah, let's call it a day for today. So as usual, thank you for watching and see you again next time.